What is going on, everybody? It is Mr. Banks here coming at you live with another trade recap. Now, before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on the YouTube so that you don't miss any of our daily educational videos that we drop to make you the consistent, successful trader that I know all of you are. Now, we're going to go over a trade recap of my trade plans. Now, today we took Shop and SPY. Now, I do drop these trade plans in my community, the Wolves of Wealth community, every single morning. And I also drop these trade plans for all of my super followers. So if you follow me on Twitter, go ahead and hit that follow and go ahead and hit that super follow as well. What you get is trade plans every single morning, guaranteed to grow your green portfolio. So every single morning, I do drop these trade plans for my super followers, as you can see, as well as other information to make you successful. If you cannot afford our Discord, that is the more affordable option. Now, let's get started. Today, we took Shop 35 calls as well as we played SPY multiple times. As you know, we play SPY every single day, and Bank, it is our bread and butter. So we're going to start off with Shop. Now, today we took calls. I said over $35. As you can see, we had a break of 35. Now, I was asked today, we make these call outs as well when we do take the trades in here. As you can see, I did have my shop call out 35.50 at 120, easy 16%. So I did have a question. Why did we take this call out? Well, as you can see, 35 is essentially the level that we had of the previous open, on Friday of last week. So 35 was definitely my level to look at, as that was the heavy resistance on Friday. As you know, my BBR strategy, I look at pre-market highs and lows, previous days highs and lows, as well as previous close, looking for those major support and resistance levels. Because as we know, guys, stocks only do three things. They will bounce, break, or reject. They will bounce on support, reject at resistance, and they will break to either side of support or resistance. So today, 35 was my level that I needed to break, and we got it. So another question why I did get asked is, why wasn't I in the trade so long? What did I see to take profit on this trade? Well, as you can see here, I was looking, we were getting very exhausted up here. We have these wicks to the top on the 10-minute, as well as creating, I would say, a tweezer top. Now, what is a tweezer top, you ask? Well, tweezer tops and bottoms are a good indication of a reversal to be happen, correct? So when we have a tweezer bottom, the sellers get exhausted. As you can see, we have these wicks, which means that the buyers are stepping in, and we create a nice little reversal. Now, if you look for this indicator candlestick pattern throughout your intraday trades for day trading, it is a highly recognizable one, and it is a highly pattern that happens a lot of the time. So get to know your tweezer bottoms and tweezer tops. Today we had the tweezer tops on shop, and which is why I didn't hold this past this point. It is a nice clear indication that a reversal is going to happen. As you can see with these wicks to the top, that is showing you that the buyers are getting exhausted and the sellers are stepping in to take over. So let's get back to the chart here. As you can see, the same thing as I just showed you, this tweezer top. These wicks to the top are showing you exhaustion, and you see that the buyers are getting exhausted and that the sellers are stepping in. Now we can go ahead and take a look at the 15-minute, shows it even better. So another tweezer top. Again, the buyers are getting exhausted with these wicks to the top, and these sellers are stepping in, and we had a nice move down. Now, at this point is when we switched to SPY. Now, let's go ahead and take a look here. After I was done with shop, we went ahead and took SPY puts. So we'll go ahead and look at that call out first. I like to use the 1 minute on SPY, gives Makes it a little bit easier to show and explain what I was looking at. But again, I do use the 5, 10, 15, and 30 when I'm looking to take an entry as it happens intraday. But the 1 minute I like to show you guys because it makes it much easier to show you the price movement that I was looking at. Now, if you want to go take a look, I did call SPY puts 410 at $1 headed back. It was at 8 o'clock my time, 8:01. So as you can see, we had a nice little reversal here. We saw that the sellers were stepping in. So this is where I called out the SPY 410 puts. Now we know that 410 was a major level. So let's go ahead and look at the daily real quick. Right, guys, we saw that 410 was a major level. Again, it matched up with the EMAs and the SMAs on both the daily as well as the weekly. This was a major point where we could have saw a pullback. Now let's go back to the 1 minute. So 410 was my major level that I was watching for rejection. Now today for SPY, let me get these off of here. 410 really wasn't rejected too much, right? 410 came and we didn't really get a pullback. So that's where I knew, okay, we're going to be heading higher. Now I didn't take puts at 410. I took puts at up here. I had 411.30 as my next level, but I saw it obviously was getting exhausted. And so I decided to take some puts here because I knew, guys, we had 3 days in a row of gap ups and major bullish trend days. So I knew we had to get exhausted and get at least a little bit of a pullback here, which we got later in the day, and we'll get to that. But first, went ahead and took puts here, went a nice 15%. The group could have came back in here and took an entry as well and took another 15%. But again, this is where I took most of my profits, leaving some runners once we came down right here. Now, I still was very convinced that we were going to receive a bigger pullback, which is why I left runners. So once we came up here, we got exhausted again. And then we saw a nice little pullback here. And then eventually all the way down below 410, giving those 410 puts in the money, selling those runners, as you can see, nice little 31%, my last runner. So let me explain again why I held and why I had that conviction. Well, we saw 410 was a major level. Once we passed 410, I had 411.30 as my next major level. So what the market makers usually like to do, if all the eyes are on 410, as we saw, everybody's mom knew 410 was a major level. So what the market makers are going to do is play with you a little bit. They're going to run it up more, get you to go long, get everybody to go long, and then dump it on you. And that's what we saw today. So just keep that in mind when you have major levels. This is why most new traders get caught off sides. This is why they lose, because they don't understand the market maker psychology. They're going to try to mess you up. So again, hit this perfectly for a nice 15% gain. And then we left the runners. And then I took profits down here at 31% on them. Now, when I did take the 50% here, I did go ahead and make a call out for calls right after. I flipped it on them for 98 cents. And this is where we rode these up and took some nice profit on them as well. Now, why did I flip my hips and go long right here? Well, when I saw that we broke out over this point, guess what happens? What do stocks do? What do I talk about? What is my strategy all about? Right? Stocks will bounce, break, or reject. So if a stock breaks out of a certain point and shows you a support, as you can see, shows you a support here, we had a double bottom, if you will, intraday. So it's showing we're not breaking this support, right? We're getting wicks to the bottom and showing buyers are stepping in. And when I saw we couldn't break down here and get below and definitely come back down to 410 again, I knew to flip long and hedge my bet of the put. Now, I was still had my conviction that we were going to hit under 410 on the day, which is why I held runners. But of course, once you get the experience, you can flip your hips and start to go long, hedging your trade. And this is exactly what I did. Had a nice little call out, 98 cents, ran it up for about 20% here, and then had a nice drop. So let's take a look at something more on here to explain to you what else I saw. Well, we had a nice evening star that came down and gave us some nice trades here. Hit an 80 cents lotto that went over 100% here. I know the team ate today on that as well. That was 3 trades taken on SPY today that I called out along with my shot, making it a 4-for-4 green day. So evening star, this is another candlestick pattern that everyone should know. This is a very big reversal candlestick pattern that gives you a nice reversal. And I would say 9 out of 10 times you're going to bank on this. I usually don't see evening stars form and then continue into the reversal and then not reverse. You know, if you play the evening star as well as the tweezer tops I talked about earlier, you're going to get a nice reversal and you're going to get paid. So as we can see here, nice couple evening stars giving us those drops and big reversals. So again, took a look here. We broke out, took some puts right here. When I saw that we couldn't get down, flipped my hips and we took calls and went long, right? Because I still had that big conviction that we were going to get under 410. But what I wanted to do once I saw that it was forming a support and flagging out was that I was going to go long for that bounce, right? If we can't break down under a breakout and it forms support, go ahead if you see the buyers are stepping in to try to flip long. But again, my conviction was that we were going to hit under 410 because we had a 3-day major run. We needed some pullback. 410 was that major area of resistance, major area of a supply zone. And so what the market makers like to do is play games. They will try to run it up a little bit more, catch you to flip long, and then they will drop it on you. So a little psychology lesson here today on how the market makers work. You know, once you start getting the experience in trading, you'll start to understand this. I think this is why a lot of people get caught off sides trying to play breakouts or understanding the market when it hits a major level but doesn't really react to it. What they're doing is just playing games, trying to flip you to go to the other side, because a lot of puts were coming in, sell side was coming in. They're going to flip long. They're going to make money on the opposite trade. Everybody flipped long, and then the market makers went and bought a Lamborghini today. So hope you guys enjoyed this trade recap. I ended the day along with all of my Wolves. Nice win day for us, but I ended the day with SPY at $1,379. Shop I hit for a couple $100 in my small account. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Trade recap comes out daily. Hit the subscribe button. Go hit the super follow button. Let's get paid together. Mr. Banks is out.